Hi, it's Bee with Crafting Daily Dips. Thanks for joining me. Today I have a quick and simple alternative for the February 2023 paper pumpkin kit called Sunshine and Smiles. For this project, I've only used pieces for the kit, and if we take a look at the original, you can see that they are very similar, but I've made an easy change that allows us to have a little bit more room to write the message on the inside, and this is now an easel card that props up like this, and it's perfect for displaying. I hope you'll think that's a bright idea. I'm so excited to show you how to make this card, so let's get started. Now, as I mentioned, all of the pieces for the card come from the kit itself. So this is the card base I'm using. I've got the rabbit, the kite, the larger set of flowers, this sentiment label, the hill, and then I'm using some of these embellishments. I'll also be using the Mango Melody ink color from the kit to stamp. So we've got our parts all ready. Now before I do my stamping, I'm just going to go ahead and prepare this card base very quickly. It only takes one step. We are going to make a horizontal score line across the middle of this card front. So this is 4 1/4 inches. Halfway is 2 1/8. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to turn it so that this opening here is towards my left, and I'm going to place this edge at 2 1/8 of an inch. Now this darker blade is for cutting. I'm going to move that safely out of the way, and I'm going to use this one, which is for scoring. You can see that that creates a score line right here, and that is what forms the easel. And now this piece is ready to use. Now I'm not going to assemble my whole card here, but I do want to place the hill and the flowers just because that's going to help me figure out where I can stamp my sentiment. So in order to attach this, I'm going to be using my multi-purpose glue, but you can also use glue dots. I'm going to put a line of glue down here on the bottom and then on the edge. I'm going to leave some of this open here so that I can tuck my flowers in after. And I'm turning this to the inside. This is going to be the bottom of our scene, like this. So now I'm just going to line those pieces up. And I'm using my fingers to get those edges lined up in place. And if you look and see, if you see a little bit of overhang, you can just trim that off with your snips or put it back in the trimmer. Once I get that nice and tidy, I can go ahead and tuck my flowers in. I'm just going to put them in just enough so that you can't see the bottom part of that die cut, the white part of that die cut anymore. It's going to look like the stems are coming right out from the frame. And I'm going to let this last one hang out over the edge a little bit. So I'll put a little bit of glue on that edge. And then a little bit on the bottoms of some of these flowers over here. I can always add more later, but I don't want to have glue on something that's going to touch the back of the card because I don't want that to stick. Then you won't be able to open the card. And now we can pause here to do the stamping. I like to have my foam mat or the silicone craft sheet underneath my paper when I'm stamping with clear photopolymer stamps because it's nice to have that little extra bit of cushion If you don't have those, you can also use the chipboard insert inside your kit. First, I'll stamp the You Brighten My Day sentiment, and I'm going to stamp that towards the right-hand side, just above the flowers. Now, if you're ever nervous about stamping directly onto the card base like this, or if you've made a mistake, remember you can always stamp it on another piece like a sentiment label. And if you need to, you can cover up any mistakes, so don't let it stress you. I'm going to lift the front so that I can stamp my sun over here. I want to stamp it so that at least part of it shows through the window. Now, if you're trying to be more specific, the bottom edge of the sun is maybe about 1.5 inches lower than the crease, and the left edge of the sun is roughly 1.5 inches in, but you don't have to be precise there at all. Off camera, I got interrupted and actually waited too long after inking up my stamp, and the ink beaded up a little bit. So I've just re-inked it, and I'm going to come back and re-stamp over the image. Since this is a clear stamp, if I'm careful, I can line it back up and get a better image. Now I'm ready to stamp my other sentiment on the label. It says, "Wishing you sunshine and smiles." And finally, I get to do the kite. At home, you'll want to put your head directly over this stamp and look right down through it. That's going to help you get the best alignment. Our card is already more than halfway done. We just have a few things to finish up. I'm going to adhere the rabbit and the kite, and be using the glue again for this, but you can also use the glue dots that come with the kit. Just one small detail before I do that. See how there is a border around the paw, and there's also a border around the string of the kite. So when you put them together, there's going to be like a little bit of a gap. To make it look a bit more realistic, I'm going to trim off the border around the paw. So now you can see that it looks like the rabbit is holding on to that string directly. It's a very quick fix, and I think it looks nice. So we're going to add it just like this. I'm going to put glue just on the bottom part of the rabbit. And just on the very bottom part of that kite string. Now you can test it by lifting this up, and that's already looking really cute. We're going to put our sentiment label down here, but we're going to raise it up on those dimensional foam stickers so that it can act as a stopper for the easel. I'm placing this about 1/2 inch from the bottom edge and doing my best to center it horizontally. Before I press it down too firmly, I'm just going to check and make sure that it's mostly hidden by those flowers. Now all that's left to do is to add a few embellishments. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool to help me place these. Now, if you look at the original card, you'll see that it uses 2 sets of flower die cuts, but we've only used 1, so you can use the other one to decorate the envelope if you would like to. Now, if this is going to go in the mail, just make sure that all those edges are glued down very carefully. Now, let's take a look at the card itself. So we've got that beautiful card with the super cute bunny and room for the message on the inside up here. And of course, we've turned this into an easel card so it can be displayed very easily. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this dose of creativity. If you get a chance to try the project, I would love to see it, so share it in my Facebook group or tag me if you're sharing elsewhere. If you're interested in Paper Pumpkin but don't yet have a demonstrator, you can find the subscription link as well as all of my other links in the description box below. I hope to craft with you again next time, and until then, I hope you have a sunshiny day.